The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble. You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and pop culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from Fantastic Forum Studios, Los Angeles. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is our riddle. Inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
What's up?
And as for myself, my name's Lawrence Young. They call me Mayor Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum once again. Shout out to Oz, who is not here at the moment. He might show up, but he may not. Either way, we miss you, Oz. Hope to have you back on the show soon. So come on through. Yeah, we got a great show for you today. We are going to be talking to you all about Loki. We're going to be talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe connected Disney Plus series Loki, which premiered actually today. Which, you know, we don't usually talk about stuff like the day it comes out, or at least very seldom. But we're going to do it for Loki. And we're also going to bring you a review of the trials of Loki. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
all of a sudden, I'm like, but I blanked on the name, even though like I looked at the book like just a moment ago. But anyway, yeah.
Trials of who?
Tales like,
Huh?
Yeah, it's Marvel Tales, Trials of Loki.
Well, I thought it was the other way around.
Hmm.
I was going to say Trials of Loki, Marvel Tales. Even though I do agree, Marvel Tales is like usually like, I know in the past I've seen Marvel Tales and then it'll be like Marvel Tales like Thor. Like it does it for different characters. This one, I don't know. It like Marvel Tales is definitely a part of it, but it felt like it was after. But I don't know.
Yeah, it
Should be
is.
Marvel Tales, Trials of Loki.
No, it's after,
Okay.
but you didn't say it either way.
I agree. I was getting there. And like I blanked on the title of the book. So, you know, I was like, wait a minute, reset. But I almost went with Marvel Presents, even though that's a whole different series. You know, you know, but there it is. Trials of Loki, Marvel Tales, #1, which recounts actually this what we're gonna review is basically covering the Loki series from is it 2010?
Yeah, 2010.
Okay, the 2010 Loki series. Yeah, the 4 issues of that. So, yeah, we're gonna be talking about that as well, and of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. But before we do all that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, who without him this show would not exist. So thank you, Scott Rubin. Hope you're doing well, good sir. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Yeah, and I guess we should go ahead and tell you how it is you can get down with Fantastic Forum, right? Now it sounds like the right time. Let's go.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join a Discord chat room available at
FantasticForum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
You know, Larry, the intern has been complaining that since she filed the complaint with Herbert, our HR guy, that you've been retaliatory to her, like avoiding her, and she doesn't like that. That's actually a big financial liability on our organization if you keep doing it.
I'm just mad that our HR guy is named Herbert.
Yeah, well, HR.
Right, exactly. Right. Like I'm like I was with you. I was like like it's Herbert with no E.
Yeah, look, and now he's probably complain because you're making fun of his name.
I didn't spell it like that. His mom did that to him. Herbert with with no vowels. So, oh, lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, it's our friggin' intrepid senior reporter, the man that's next in line for the cowl, our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
I forgot how all this equipment works.
I like you've been away for so long, Oz. We missed you. I was just lamenting about you not being here.
Oh, well, here I am.
Yay!
He has come.
The Oz has cometh.
The
Happy
Oz-
belated birthday, by the way, to Oz.
Look, he's frozen with glee. Like he literally froze in glee.
Hey, it happens. It happens. I've been there. I've been there.
While he's like that, frozen. What I was gonna say, also in addition to what the intern says on how to get in touch with us, you can also hit us up in the comments, such as this dude, and Baldwin 45, who chose to correct us on some of our information that we gave last week's episode on Red Sonja. And I shared the screen with you guys, if you guys could bring it up real quick. There we go. And it says N Baldwin 45 in our comment section from last week's episode. The Gail Simone thing is a motion comic, not really a cartoon. Gail's run at Dynamite. Gail's run was at Dynamite, but there were nonstop Sonja series before, so I wouldn't give her credit for keeping Sonja going. Most of Gail's readers dropped Sonja as soon as she left. Also, Sonja isn't always bisexual. Some writers have her as lesbian, but she's still straight under most. Palmiotti and Connor haven't committed one way or another, but it looks like Sonja is heterosexual.
Okay,
But yeah.
well, if she's sometimes a lesbian and she's sometimes heterosexual, by definition, she is bisexual. Definition of
Or
being
pansexual.
What's the difference between bisexual and pansexual?
pan is you'll do it with anything.
Including the character from Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Like the one with the eyes on the hands?
Him too. Or her. I don't know how it identifies.
They.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, that's an interesting comment. Like, you got part of it wrong.
Or
But we
he was pan wrong. He was pan wrong because he's a little right. Yeah.
Now,
I
I
listen.
will agree with them on the fact that it's more of the movie is more of a motion comic than a animated. Do a lot of the puppeting, and it's just a weird thing to look at, like a terrible thing to look at. Like
Fair.
most motion comics are good. Like with that motion, like they put time and effort into it. But this one, man, it's just so weird, especially when someone's talking and you've got the bottom half of their jaw just like flapping up and down. And you gave me a real appreciation for how amazing To Your Last Death looks. Because like they look normal when they talk. And I would say like any still frame of theirs looks like amazing, but that just does not happen with the Queen of Plagues.
No love or credit for Gail Simone, though, huh?
No, I didn't talk about the writing. Like the writing.
Oh no. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the Commodore.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Most of the readers left when Gail did. I mean, yeah, she's a good writer. I can imagine.
Plus, also too, it's like if she like let's say she, like if a certain amount of people are reading Red Sonja, and then she comes on and like doubles that, even if they don't all stay, it's like if just a few of them stay, that's like that's more people that was reading Red Sonja before she got there, right? Like
the thing is, N. Baldwin 45, which I'm sure that's like Alec Baldwin's brother.
Michael.
Yeah, and Nigel, Nigel Baldwin. But no, it's one of those things. Like if he's a fan that's been reading all along, and then Gail comes and then does what she does, and then leaves, and then it still keeps going the way it was. I can see him not giving the credit like that. But that, I mean, that's like me saying, "Ah, these movies aren't like the comic. I read the comic; it was better." Like nobody cares. Yeah.
I mean, some people care. But...
They don't. Nobody does.
Well.
It's the anguish that I live in.
That's fair. So cool.
But yeah.
Well, yeah. What was Tiger Claw's comment?
Tiger Claw says, "What's up, Fantastic Forum? How about that first episode of Loki? It changed the way you view the MCU as a whole."
Did it?
No.
Did for me.
Look, I guess with that we should just get in it, right?
Yeah, we'll do some reviews.
Comic book theater.
Speaking of Mephisto himself, theater.
Oh, is that Oz? Nope.
No.
Theater. I always forget that that's what's going to play, and it always tickles me every time. It's like a new thing every time I hear it. Like, oh yeah.
Like according to Herbert, you can't say tickle anymore. When you say it, it's bad.
Herbert with no vowels, man. This guy, that's our new HR guy, apparently. Okay. He's like, I'll take that. Like
he's like, I'd accidentally harassed him already.
I'm also at the tail end of a cold, so I'm gonna be turning off the mic so I don't cough into it.
That's fair. That's fair. No worries.
And,
you chime in
and
when you're
drinking
ready.
this lovely elixir to soothe my throat.
Yes, there it is. Someone get that man a hot toddy.
Yeah, he's gonna coat his throat with something warm.
Ugh. See, but HR says that's okay, huh? Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's
Okay.
like it's like I hired him on the condition that I can use him to torture you guys.
So, Loki, who wants to sum it up for us, just to talk about what the series is for those that may not know?
I'll do it.
Go for it, Jay.
Loki is basically arrested for time traveling, and then we get like a 40-minute summary of the past few movies, and then it ends.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, they do.
Was that your takeaway?
They do that Disney Plus thing where they say the first episode is 54 minutes long, but then there's like 10 minutes of credits.
15, yeah. And no after scene.
Like it was like at issue 0, where they take just summarizing shit you already know and taking way too long doing it.
Okay.
It's like a Wizard 1/2.
Are we spoilering? I mean,
No,
not that there's much to spoil because it really is just a story of Loki's story up until now.
like apparently what happens at the end is a spoiler, and we're not supposed to say it.
Yeah.
Even though, like, if you have common sense, like it's pretty obvious, but we're not supposed to say
I
it.
would even say that it's been a known thing for months. Ever since we started hearing about casting choices, and then by the time that first trailer came around, everybody knew. Like that thing at the end is the Agatha Harkness of this show.
okay. Like, I don't like. I think I would disagree, but hey, I could just, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be that obvious to everyone as far as like but
Just to make sure we're
it-
talking about the same thing, I'm talking about where they discuss who the villain is.
yeah,
Okay. Then yeah, that was obvious months ago.
okay. That's hey,
Like
that's more than-
even the people that were yelling Mephisto for months on end got that one months ago.
Oh, we obviously know that it's Mephisto. Like that guy
Yeah.
finally Mephisto becomes relevant because it's like, well, it's obviously Mephisto, right?
Everybody
Y'all
said
didn't see the
Mephisto on that stained glass. Everybody
Y'all
said
didn't see the
Mephisto.
window? It's Mephisto.
It's actually a reference to Loki.
It's Mephisto.
One thing that did surprise me, well, a couple of things. I guess Tire Claw is semi 0.2% right, where according to this show, what I got is that there is no multiverse right now. So it seems like by the end of this show, there will be a multiverse, and then that'll lead into the Doctor Strange and the Spider-Verse and all that nonsense.
So yeah, and I think
Kinda.
I think that that's an important point. Like I feel like, like while I can definitely agree with you in the sense like it's not like the characters go to a lot of, different places or do a whole bunch of things outside of being inside the TVA. But I feel like, this episode basically redefines a lot of things inside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so, because there are things that we could speculate about, but we didn't really know this is how things work in the MCU until this particular episode, until this particular moment. Especially like, a huge part of it too is just the what they do with the Infinity Stones, which I'm mad that that these fools got me calling them Infinity Stones instead of Infinity Gems, but whatever. It's like that the fact that they've already in one episode of Loki demonstrate to you that as powerful as those things were up until this point, beyond this point, they're baubles. And that's, I feel like that's a big deal in and of itself. Like even if it was just that alone, that would be basically a paradigm shift in the MCU. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so the second thing that was interesting to me anyway about this show is, well, from the beginning we knew what Loki this was going to be. It's the one from Endgame. Mm-hmm. And I thought because this Loki hasn't had that same journey that the real Loki, the non-variant Loki had, I thought this whole series was him going through that journey where by the end of it, he wants to be good, like he did at the end of Ragnarok. Mm-hmm. But they just took care of all of that in that first episode. Like he took that whole journey all in the span of minutes. Even in their time, I think it was like maybe half an hour at most that he had to take that journey. And credit to Hiddleston, man, he acted his ass off, especially in that when he's reviewing his future and all the major points in Loki's life that he would have experienced.
But that's not a surprise, right? Like he's usually really good.
No, I'm not surprised that he's a good actor. I'm surprised that they did all of that in one episode. I thought this was going to span throughout the series. Okay. Maybe at least to the halfway point, and then the second half is him trying to do good. But no, I feel he's pretty close to the point where he was right after Ragnarok. Maybe not quite there, but he's close.
Right. and I think for me that's part of why, like, I get the idea of saying like, hey, it doesn't feel like they did much in this episode, but it did a whole lot of character exploration. And like, not, of course, like you mentioned, we all already expect Hiddleston to be good, but we don't necessarily know that the writing and the narrative is gonna like support or rise to the occasion of his ability. And it's like we just like Oz mentioned, like we went on a journey, like through a character arc that was over like 3 or 4 films in the span of 30 minutes, and it didn't feel forced or natural or like, oh, like that wouldn't be the way, like he wouldn't do that. It like it felt really natural, and it was still entertaining. So, I mean, I get it. Like, it would be nice, I guess, if more things would happen, but at the same time, it's not like they did nothing. It was just a lot of character work.
What I would say to that is I never expected him to be bad in this series. I don't think Disney does anti-heroes, so I didn't expect him to make the journey from being bad to being good. Like, I expected that to come right off the bat, like it did.
Mm-hmm.
Because Disney doesn't do anti-heroes in general. Like, when they try, they make their anti-heroes all good guys. It's like they did it with Maleficent, they did it with Cruella, they're doing it with Loki.
Yeah, but
So,
is it done well though?
I mean, if watching a 30-minute clip show is considered doing it well,
But is it really? I mean, is it really a clip show? Like, it's
it
like,
absolutely is a clip show. Like,
oh,
they show clips from the movies.
Nah, but it's a
Scenes.
different. It's like a community clip show, or like a Rick and Morty clip show where they show you a clip, but they give it's a story all around it that's still good.
I mean, it's okay. Like, I don't know, dude. I really feel like they padded this way out, and
really?
I
especially for
do,
already knew what's gonna happen.
yeah,
Like,
but they're not making it for you. They're making it for people who don't know.
No,
Yeah,
but
like
even no,
I on it.
but
Like,
listen.
whether it's
Okay.
for me or not, it's still how I react to it. And like, for all the people that were like, "Oh, is Loki gonna be a bad guy? Is he gonna be a good guy?" It's fun they're catering to you, but I already knew just because I'm familiar with Disney and what they do. And like, welcome to Disney, I guess. So for all you new people that weren't sure, um, but yeah, I don't know. It's just it's like I know we've all read those issue zeros where they take 22 pages saying something they could have said in like 5, and that was Loki #1. It's episode 1.
Wow. I mean, okay. I don't know. I disagree. just because it's like they tell you a lot about. Shut up, phone. Why does that happen? Anyway,
Because you're throwing away your data.
They tell you there's a timeline that's supposed to happen. Like, why did that take so long? Like, what other info do we get? There's a timeline that's supposed to happen. These guys take care of the timeline, and Loki is a good guy now because he saw his mother die.
So
Because that would be and I don't remember how long this episode was. Like,
it's like 40 minutes.
Kind of took forever. Especially since we were rehashing all the stuff I already knew.
And it takes place in a place with no time.
Like, there's one timeline. Loki's a good guy. Mystery deaths. I mean, I did enjoy Miss Minutes, but
Only because it's Tara Strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an amazing.
Listen, I feel like the big thing that we also get here that no one's mentioned yet is they basically laid the groundwork, like, which Oz touched on it, talking about multiverse of madness, which obviously
Yeah.
they put those words, those words seated in there are intentional to hint towards things to come. But I think that the whole concept of there being this TVA to try to make sure that there's not variant timelines in order to stop a multiversal war. I mean, that's like the seeding for the next big thing in the phase, probably. Like, which,
Right.
Between
that and between this Multiverse of Madness in Doctor Strange and Kang in Ant-Man 3.
Right.
Like this, I mean, just by that alone, it's fucking amazing. That gives it 5 stars. On this, I'm sorry, 5 inanimate paperweights.
Yeah, man.
Because it's that alone. Like,
really needed the 30 or 40 minutes to do all that.
Look, when I like something, I'll take as much as they give me. How many times have I complained that things have been too short or things that I hate been too long? Like, if I didn't like it, and we still got more episodes. This is the one. There's still people that want to see this that haven't watched the movies, if you can believe that. So it's like with them, you put that episode in, it's like they're hooked. They're going to subscribe to Disney Plus.
So it's basically you're saying this episode is full of spoilers.
It is. It actually is.
Good thing.
Yeah. Hey, they're enhancing the experience. I maintain spoilers my whole career here at Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But
Also,
another
go
thing
ahead.
that annoyed me, and I'm basically,
what annoyed you?
There's another thing that annoyed me, and it's kind of what you were talking about earlier. They have the Infinity Stones, and they had the Time Stone, like a bunch of them. And it was green, like they were all green. And that just pissed me off.
Yeah, but that's what it is in the MCU.
I don't have to like it, though.
Why?
So that means you just spent 10 minutes. We just spent 10 minutes rehashing your hate for Doctor Strange, the same way Disney spent 40 minutes rehashing the movies.
I'm saying, why the Time Stone specifically, though? Like, why not just the fact that they're not all of them aren't the right color?
The Soul Stone was my favorite stone. That's why.
The Soul Stone or the Soul Gem? Because
the Mind Stone.
Right, the Soul Gem. The Soul Gem is my favorite gem.
Listen, don't get me started on gems, not stones. No, don't get me started. No,
I agree. I hate it when stuff isn't the color I prefer.
Yeah, that's basically it. Like, I hate it when stuff isn't the right color.
I like that not only was there, well, I guess you already said it. Not only were there like Power Stones there, but there was another Tesseract.
What is a Power Stone?
What's in the Tesseract?
Yeah,
MCU. I'm speaking MCU terms.
No, geez.
No, not power. Sorry, space. Sorry, Space Stone.
Real quick, in chat, Xenocore 1 says, what it is, fellas.
What up, Xenocore? Good to see you, buddy.
Names anymore. The trauma has interfered with this process.
But no, man, it like just going back to what Mo was saying, it's like, I mean, to see
1 minute bitching.
Say what?
I only spent 1 minute bitching about the
right.
Stone.
Yeah, but it's still it wasn't the distance. Look, in TVA, we don't deal with time the same way. We already know that. So I just made a comment that you spent whatever time that was rehashing your hate for Doctor Strange. That was it.
Yeah.
Mo talking about Kang, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, we know we got Kang coming up, and
I didn't.
you know, of course,
Following the news. That's a
say
major.
what?
I haven't been following the news, so that's like a major spoiler for me.
Look, it's like 9 months old news.
How does like Joe? I'm pretty sure you were here, weren't you here?
He was. It was during the pandemic.
But I forgot.
Oh, that's fair. Look, I've
See,
been there.
if only we would make a show that clips our rehashing of that news story, you would have been primed for it.
Right.
I have
Gotta
a
cry for the talk about Loki.
I have a stone gem question before we move on.
Oh,
I'm just wondering, either Mo or Jay, what pisses you off more? That the time stone gem, whatever, is green, or that they call it the Eye of Agamotto?
But it's green. Is
Yeah.
definitely the thing that pisses me off.
For me, it was the Eye of Agamotto. But I look, they're not gonna do real occult shit like that in Disney. You know what I mean?
Does that mean like the soul stone is like orange or orangish, right?
Yeah.
No, I thought it was yellow.
Is it
Yellow Mind. That's the one that's on Vision.
It said. That's
Oh, in the comics. You're talking about
No,
the comics?
in the MCU, it's yellow too. The Mind is yellow. Soul is orange.
in the
Oh,
comic.
okay, so that's what I asked, right? The soul
Yeah.
is orange, right?
Yeah, Jay said he thought it was yellow, but Soul is orange.
Oh,
in the movies. it's
Yeah, in the movies. I'm talking.
yeah. No, I
movie.
said stone, not gem. That's why. Yeah, like I'm like. So does that mean that if Adam Warlock like did put it on his head, like if we get an MCU Adam Warlock, is he and the stone going to be the same color? Like, will it just blend?
Yeah.
in?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, but he's not because they're gone.
Who's gone?
The
That
stone.
race. Oh, well, that too.
In the MCU, the stones are done. They're gone.
No, but listen, that's what the multiverse is for, man. They'll come back.
But then
Now-
they work.
Now, my thing, and I always been, I get mad at this. I was mad at Endgame. It's like, if he, Loki runs off with that, and it's like, oh, that's a bad thing. And then we get this, and then we talk about, Steve Rogers not caring about 9/11, which is something that's like, how come he didn't get attacked by this TVA people?
Because
But
he came back to the original timeline, closed the loop.
No, but he still lived in timelines that weren't his
for a
No, but
little
see,
bit.
That's the thing, though. They talk about that in the show, where it's not about time traveling. Time traveling is okay as long as you're supposed to do the time traveling. But say what?
Okay. No, go ahead.
Yeah, but if you go off of your path, which your path doesn't necessarily have anything to do with whether you travel through time or not. It's more about deviating from what you're supposed to do.
So by that logic, the paradoxes aren't paradoxes then, because it's just what's
say what in that what
by that logic, or by that time travel, time authority logic.
Mm-hmm.
Like the grandfather paradox isn't a paradox; it's what's supposed to happen.
Right. Okay. That's true. That is
also,
true.
Theoretically, once Steve Rogers jumped back into the regular timeline to give up the shield, they could have just showed up, put one of those things, and blown that whole timeline up. Doesn't exist anymore. Right? He ain't going back. They don't care.
But man, look. So we see the timekeepers in this joint, right? Or at least we see like representations of them, which props for the timekeepers, like looking like the timekeepers, because I wasn't sure that was going to happen. I was just
probably why they show it in animated form, because that's really like the best way to do it.
Yeah, and they had like the statues behind them, like in the court, like or their faces, like they look like what they're supposed to look like, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. And like I was trying to say before, going back to Mo's point, it's like, there's actually books where you have Kang, and you find out that he's actually like an agent of the Timekeepers as well, and like his like part of why he does the things that he does are all about him trying to keep like the timeline going the way that it's supposed to go, and like kind of directing things. I mean, and it's not to take away from his own ambitions because he still has it, but he basically is like, to a degree, like kind of is like part enlisted, part manipulated by the Timekeepers. So it's like, yeah, man, like a book that touches on that, or the book I think that touches on that first, I believe, is that Avengers Forever miniseries, which, if you're an Avengers fan and actually like the history of the comics, it's like it's one of those must reads, man. It's dang. I don't know when Avengers Forever came out, but I know it was before, like it's like the late 90s. So
Yeah.
it's one of these things where, like, if they mess around and start touching on like some of those storylines, like that would be kind of crazy, like to go back that far and just be like, for inspiration, like, and me, like being the Avengers fan I am, I'm like, oh,
And the
I,
Disney.
I'm sitting here like I'm ready. My body is ready. Let's go.
And that was 98 to 99.
That's crazy. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but I'm an old man now, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, okay, all in all, I guess before I was going to get
Do
to
you think
ratings.
they're gonna show Trevor Fitzroy in this?
Is Trevor Fitzroy?
Yeah.
Not so far, but I guess he could be.
Technically, right. He could, right? Because he's a protector of the sacred timeline. Isn't that like his the cult that he's in? That's what that's the thing.
I don't remember him being a protector. I mean, Trevor Fitzroy, if I don't remember, was like he would abuse the timeline. He would pop around.
Well, he started off as a cop, right? Like a cop like them, kind of. Is that what?
Like Bishop?
Yeah, kind of like that.
No, I don't. Well, you know what? Maybe he was like, or if like you're talking about Trevor from the X-Men books, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So he might have been part of the same police force that Bishop was a part of, which was the XSE, I think, for a little bit.
Yeah.
But then kind of went rogue. But it's like Bishop wasn't, if I'm remembering right, I don't think that he was like specifically. I don't think what he did was specifically police the timeline. I just think that he did do time, like he would go after the. Well, but maybe he was. Maybe he was. I don't remember. It's been a long time, man. Like,
yeah,
that's older. That you're talking about books older than the one I was just talking about.
Like 79 or some shit. Yeah.
I need a refresh.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh.
I think I look again, older book. I kind of remember him actually saying the word sacred timeline. So when I heard it there, I'm like, that sounds very familiar. Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You remember that from friggin' the early 90s just randomly. Like, yeah. But I don't remember there being like, I feel, well, at least for me, it felt like a newer kind of thing to me, but maybe not. Maybe, and keeping in mind too, the Timekeepers have been around for a while. Like they've been around since the 70s. So they very well may have, talked about sacred timeline stuff. And I'm not aware of it because if I'm not mistaken, I believe that they were like, they first come up in like Thor and then they spread to like other books. But, and it's only every so often. It's not like, I don't feel like the Timekeepers are like all over the Marvel universe in like the same way that like they're not like Watchers, where you're like,
right,
you can read any book you want to within a certain time period, and a watcher might just show up or be involved somehow, whatnot. But I don't feel like the timekeepers ever kind of got to that level. So, but I could be wrong. Like I don't know that I read all the right books to make sure that I'm getting all the stories that would be what would be considered like seminal ones that they're a part of. So, but yeah, I would be interested to find out though if like the Sacred Timeline is something that has been mentioned.
Maybe some smart alecky YouTube commenter will correct us.
Right. Yeah. Feel free. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. What's chat talking about, Jay?
Tiger Claw says magic doesn't work in the TVA, so no matter how much power you have, the TVA appears to be the greatest power in the universe. Xenocore 1 says, in my analysis, it's not the TVA that's powerful, but that it exists outside the normal discourse. Until you go back to the right plane of existence, the stones don't work. Which that makes sense. So when they are on a plane of existence, they get taken out by fire.
That's what,
like, not very all powerful of them.
That's what happened when they did a crossover and Darkseid got the Infinity Gauntlet with all the gems in it, and it didn't do anything because it was from a different dimension. So he just kind of throws it away in the garbage.
I mean, really, fire. Like that's what takes out your elite time force.
I mean, okay, yeah.
I mean, you could say the same thing about knives, but that's a spoiler too, right, Larry? I can talk about spoilers.
Can't talk about spoilers, Moses.
Because the knife gives it away who it is.
I mean, knives are personal though. Like the dude literally just threw a lantern on the ground.
Yeah.
5 of them died.
It was a Green Lantern.
They couldn't run away, or like
it surrounded them.
They fire, waiting to die.
No, listen. They were in a field full of oil.
Just stomp it out. Like, just move.
Well, they have a thing that opens a door to a different dimension. Like,
but you ever try to push a button while you've been on fire? It's hard.
Dude, they didn't start on fire. Like, spread. They waited for it to spread to them.
And the villain used oil, which burns slower than like kerosene.
I don't know, man. I think if y'all were in that situation, y'all be on fire and dead too.
Dude, I would run through the fire to get out of it. Like,
yeah, they were armored though. I mean, it's not like they were sitting there in t-shirts and shorts, like surrounded by fire. They were full armor.
Technically, that armor is supposed to protect them against tachyons and shit and all outside of cosmic rays because they travel between dimensions.
Yeah, you telling me that armor doesn't protect against heat?
Yeah.
I don't know. Does any armor protect against heat?
By traveling from one dimension to another, it is like, because all that feedback, that once you open that door, there is a certain amount of light feedback from two different planes of existence, and that could actually create a fucked up situation. And traveling through that, their armor, if it's not dissolved, then it's not going to get dissolved by fire.
Yeah, Jay's right. I hate this show.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, fuck Multiverse of Madness. Fuck Kang too.
Dang. Yeah. Real quick, what'd y'all think of Owen Wilson?
It was great.
Yeah,
I'm glad he got to do something great finally.
Dang, wait, what's that mean? Are you saying that he's
he was doing a couple of not I don't want to call them stinkers. They're just not like acting movies for of that caliber. But this is a role that he can like make his, and
sink his teeth into a little.
And it's been a while since he's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, he was in the Darjeeling Limited that I saw him last in the theater, and that was good. But that's good because it's Wes Anderson. But Yeah. Other than that, he was like, your Wedding Crashers and all those. So I got tired of him in those. So I'm happy to see him here.
I'm glad.
Go ahead, Oz.
When I saw the trailer, I thought he was just going to be, goofy, same character he usually plays. The funny comic relief, and you get a little bit of that, but they imply, and you kind of get the sense that he's actually kind of a badass. Especially when he's telling Loki, "Oh no, I don't deal with you. I deal with like actual dangerous stuff." And then just the way he acts whenever he's threatened by Loki, it's just like this dude's actually more of a badass than we realized. And I was glad. The trailers made me think he was just going to be like some bumbling bureaucrat or something, and no, he's way more than that, with a little bit of that to give you a smile, to make you laugh a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely has like a bit of a multiversal Coulson kind of vibe going on.
Yeah, but better, less like paper pushing.
Yeah, did you did you think that it was kind of a little shade on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that he didn't mention Coulson didn't quite die?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a multiverse.
It's like, plus also like, there's a lot happening there. Like, it's kind of like, maybe you don't want to mention like, oh yeah, you thought you did that, but that you didn't do that either. Like,
well, it's a moment that he's explaining to Loki how much of a failure Loki really is.
Yeah. That's a good point to
show. Like that was the one thing that Loki saw as a victory in that whole first Avengers movie, and it would be so easy to just quick clip of Coulson doing something else and say, well, not quite, you failed at that too.
But I guess
founding the Avengers, like,
right,
was kind of a bigger failure.
Right. I think that was what I was gonna say. Was I think the big takeaway is like, yeah, didn't that make the Avengers happen? Which, yeah, I mean, but I feel you where it's like, and it wouldn't have been bad if he's like, and then on top of that, this fool's still alive. Like that really would have been like the cherry on top of the failure cake, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's just my petty ass that would do that.
You don't put cherry on top of a failure cake.
Oh, what do you put on it?
The seed.
Yeah.
The bit.
I would think it was like a piece of corn, like a couple kernels, because it's shit.
And olive because it's bitter.
It's there it is. That's what goes on the top of a failure cake.
And instead of that little like a little carrot or something that they put in the olive, it's a cherry pit.
That's funny, man. So, okay, cool. Anybody got anything else they want to?
I do like the aesthetic of the show and the flow of it. The score, like it's a well-made show. It gives me that Terry Gilliam vibe, that like Time Bandits. A little bit of 12. That these guys are so advanced in relation to time, but they use a lot of these analog equipment.
Yeah.
Or it is a good touch. I love that.
Yeah.
So and it makes it interesting to look at, because if everything was just a green screen that they could just be in a room, it would look like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh,
I knocked Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So.
That's shade on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right?
Yeah, but it looked
big talk for a man that didn't watch the show. Ooh.
I watched enough of it.
Okay. But yeah, man.
With the foam Nerf gun.
I do agree that the show has a great aesthetic. And I mean, I feel like everybody in it actually did a really good job acting wise, in my opinion, as well. A lot of just like smaller roles, or at least smaller roles in the in this first episode. Like a lot of the people there were folks that I recognized from other stuff I'd seen that do good work, and they continue to do so in this. So yeah.
Rating this.
Say again, Jay?
what are we rating this?
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and start, Jay? What would you give uh Loki episode 1? How would you rate it?
I will rate episode 1 as like a 2. Like, there's way too much filler. Like, yes, as far as issue zeros go, I've read a lot worse, but that's not saying much. Like, this is a whole lot of padding and a whole lot of stuff that I already knew was going to happen. And I don't know, like, I expect more from the first episode.
That's fair.
How would you
Most-
compare this to like what was it, Falcon and Winter Soldier, or a WandaVision first episode?
Compared to WandaVision, I think WandaVision was a lot better. Like, realistically, you get less info, but it has a lot of style to it that I liked. And as far as how it relates, like I would compare it to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I honestly do not remember how I felt about that first episode. I know in the end I really ended up liking the show, but I don't remember like on an episode by episode basis like I did with like WandaVision. Like, Falcon and Winter Soldier is just a really good action show.
Mhm.
But WandaVision has style, and Loki does. I mean, it has a style, I guess. I'm just not feeling it. Like, there's a scene where they went to go look out the window, and I'm like, fucking why? Like, why is this happening? Like, why do I need to see this? And it's like,
Fair.
yeah. So, like, I enjoyed WandaVision #1 a lot better.
Cool. Moses Magnum, what would you rate Loki first episode?
Look, just with them looking out that window, I give it a 5 because it looked great, and you astonished Loki. It gives you a scope of what of what he's dealing with, and then on top of that, he says his name is Mobius. So you look at that style of art and that concept, and then it's like his name is Mobius, like that French comic creator that does all that shit. So to me, that was awesome. But yeah, I'm not rating it just on that. So it's a 4. It's definitely a 4. I really I've always not wanted to have faith in these, but they keep proving me wrong. And in this one, look, I didn't mind the padding. I didn't mind. It was all good. Look, that end theme song during the credits is amazing.
Yeah.
That's some Stanley Kubrick ass shit. So I'm in. I'm in for the long haul.
Yeah. Oz, what would you rate Loki? episode 1?
5. Oh boy, out of 5. I think it's the best of the MCU shows. It's got the quirkiness that we got from WandaVision, but it still has that MCU aesthetic that we got from Falcon and Winter Soldier. First episode, it is a little slow. It's at least 50% a clip show, but I mean it's a 0. It's catching you up on a character that there are some people that haven't watched all the movies like we have, and I kind of enjoyed it. I wanted it just because, like I said, that those clips and that taking us through the character arc puts this Loki closer to the Loki that we saw in the movies in the first episode than I expected that they would. So I didn't mind the clip show.
Okay. And as for myself, I'm gonna give it a 5 too. I liked it a lot. like it's hard for me to say how I feel about it in relation to the other shows, because I feel like they all bring their own like strength in different ways. But I liked this a lot, and honestly, it's one of these things where I do feel like Hiddleston as the lead is super strong. Like realistically, you almost don't need anybody else to be good, because he's so good. Fortunately, everybody else is bringing their A game as well. So and I guess in that sense, I do feel like this very well might just have to do with the narrative that we got in the first episode. But I felt like he could have totally carried that episode on his own if people were having an off day. I don't know if I could have said that about WandaVision or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 1, either one of those, because yeah. But I think that it brought a lot of layers to the MCU, and like ultimately I'm interested and excited to see where this character goes. I'm looking forward to seeing some variants, and it's gotten me excited to watch upcoming MCU films even more so than I already was. So yeah, that's a win. So yeah, good stuff, man. I can't wait. Before we switch topics to the Trials of Loki, how do y'all feel about the Wednesday release schedule? You all good with that, or would you have preferred it to be a Friday like we've gotten in the past?
I like it. I like it on Wednesday, but it just adds for something I need to do. If we were doing a weekly wrap up on each episode, it'd be great. But we're not, as far as I know. So
we already started it, Mo. We already started it. I thought you knew. I didn't realize. I didn't. Jared's supposed to send you an email.
But it just, I guess, since if we're not talking about it the same day, like it's fine. It's something, because I'm watching other stuff on Fridays, so yeah, I'm okay with it Wednesday. I'll abide.
Got it. Cool. And the rest of you are good with Wednesday too?
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it's cutting into my Superman and Lois time, but I'll deal with it.
There it is. All right, cool. Y'all ready to talk about some comics?
As soon as I play this music,
let's do it.
Comic book
review.
Like
Review.
well, not like that, but like
Oz, does Amber at this point have any feelings about being immortalized in that intro?
I don't think she knows.
She doesn't even know.
I didn't even realize it was her for a while.
That's hilarious. Well,
so I mean, I've been sending those royalty checks for nothing.
I know.
I mean, it pays for all this.
That's where all that barn money went to.
I used the last 4 royalty checks for this beer salt.
Okay. The Trials of Loki, Marvel Tales. I don't, Mo, you feel comfortable summarizing this joint?
Yeah, it's basically a retelling of Loki's history in Asgard in the Marvel Comics universe, and it starts off with him being exiled or living in exile. They're searching for him, and he's in one spot of the 9 worlds where he can't be found. And when Thor finds them, they start discussing their history, and you get these stories of the past. And with Loki, and it gives you a sense of his character, and it gives you a sense of how others see him or how Thor sees him. and different adventures and crimes of Loki. And this book is actually the reprint of the 2010 story, so this actually gives you 4 chapters of it. And I actually read 3 of them. I don't know if we're doing all 3 or all 4, but I read 3 of them, and the first one really stuck out to me. I really enjoyed it. It gave me a feeling. Well, look, I'll start off by saying this. When I saw it was Roberto Aguirre Sacasa writing it, I got pissed as fuck because it's 2021. There hasn't been a new Sabrina Chilling Adventures of Sabrina for like 4 years, and he's over here writing Loki. But then I realized it's from 2010, so I'll abide. But that was a weird moment. But then once I read it, I was like, man, this is like a Vertigo book. Like this is like you get your MC Marvel Comics Universe Loki story as a villain, but then you get the Vertigo story of Loki coming up. And that's for that reason, I actually am sharing this picture, one of the first pages of this book right here. And you see this art, and it's like let's see, this little landscape, with this font right here, and then this font right here, and then this caption page like that. And their font is the angles, the paneling. Like this is straight out of something out of Sandman, which I actually have for reference. I have one here. This is another of the art here, and it evokes a similar feeling. But for the Sandman, this is one of them right here. Yeah, and you can see it's like somebody went to school on Vertigo and wrote the Loki book and drew the Loki book. Yeah.
Yeah, that
and
looks like it could be the same book.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing. So there's the reason why I really enjoyed this book. Yeah, and that's just one layer of how much I enjoyed it, because it's also a fantasy tale kind of thing of Loki. So like you feel like you're reading actual mythology, where you don't get a lot of that. There's very few, especially when you deal with your characters like Hercules and your Thors. Like there's very few instances where you get that and you get it done well. And even this kind of has parallels to what Loki does in the TV series. And like, I don't know if you guys read to where he goes with the weird women, and he's like, he has that need to see his destiny, and that's something that comes into play in the TV series, as we mentioned, which was kind of cool. It's a cool way of doing it, and it's like, man, are those weird women like time variation authorities? Like, do they carry a badge? Yeah, like it's got me thinking like that, because but it's not. It's what it is. You're getting a good fantasy story, and it's I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not like I'm a fan of mythology. I will say that Norse mythology is one of the places where I'm a little bit weaker, but I'm fairly certain that the stories or many of the stories that are told are the actual myths, like the actual Norse myths, and it's just like told in or given to you in a more narrative fashion. And of course the character designs of course are more in line with the version of those characters in the MCU. So it's like I'm fairly certain that the death of Balder is exactly the myth, like as far as like how he dies from the stories in the mythology. And it's just all they're doing is putting the Marvel kind of aesthetic to it. So that's why it feels like actual mythology, because it is. I can't say that for a fact for like all the stories, but that one in particular, I'm pretty sure is the myth.
That one really feels like it. Like even the way they go on their adventure, it all, even the trick that he plays on them is a very simplistic trick. You talk about, I already knew what was happening when I read this, like, or when I saw this. When we talk about Loki the series, and that's kind of how I felt reading this. So that one might be, the real myth.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on it, Jay?
I don't know. I thought it was kind of dry. I was not feeling the art.
Gotcha.
And there was this one panel that is not the art's fault. It's just a me thing. I really hated it. But there was this one picture where they show Odin's horse. And I fucking hate this horse.
Why do you hate the horse?
Dude, horses have 4 legs, not 8.
No, but that's
his,
yeah, that's his
horse. Faster.
Yeah,
it's like a unicorn.
I hate it. I absolutely abhor.
Horses don't have wings. You hate Pegasus?
I'm talking about legs. I'm talking about this 8-legged monstrosity.
No, but that's how it is. Like even in Final Fantasy VII, when you summon Odin, like that's how he comes in.
Yeah.
No, and Odin's horse has 4 legs. And
no, it doesn't.
No, real horses have 4 legs. Odin's horse always has 8 legs.
Yeah.
Not in Final Fantasy.
No, in Final Fantasy he has 8 legs.
Oh, I'm gonna find it.
Oh, yeah. I don't recall that being the case.
Because I remember tripping out when I saw it. I'm like, what does that horse have so many legs?
Odin is not an Esper I used. Odin's not an Esper I used often. So maybe he did.
Oh, well, it depends what number you're looking at. Like, I know 7 and 8 had 8 legs.
I know in 14 the horse doesn't have 8 legs.
What?
And yeah, I hate this.
What's wrong with Final Fantasy 14?
I think in 7 he only has 6.
He only has 6. Yeah, he's got 4 in the front and 2 in the back.
And then in the middle.
Well, yeah, the middle, I guess. Yeah.
Well, listen, that's because of the technological limitations why he only has 6. I'm sure that's all they can pixelize.
Well, look, the point is that's a me thing. I don't like 8-legged horses. Like, I'm not mad at them for drawing that. I realize it.
He's like, it's a me thing, but I'm giving it 2 stars.
I know.
No, it gets 2 stars for the super dry story and the below average art. But I just had to bring up the horse because I hate it.
By super dry story, you're referring to the myths that have survived for friggin' centuries at this point, right?
Hey, look,
That's almost beyond at this point.
Just because it's great doesn't mean it'll resonate with everyone.
Like, if you're gonna give his steed 8 legs, why not just have him ride a giant spider?
Because it's a horse.
Why do you act like riding a spider and a horse are interchangeable? Like, where do you even put the saddle on a spider?
Look, have you ever tried to like tame a spider?
On Elder Scrolls Online, I have a spider mount.
But it's still easier to tame a horse in there than a spider, right?
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah. Of course it is. Because riding a fucking spider sucks and it's hard.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, yeah, I get it. If you're like horses have 4 legs, not 8, I can understand. Would it have helped if the horse had 2 heads? Then you'd be like, okay, well, it's actually 2 horses in one.
Maybe.
And the actual mythological death of Balder is the way he dies is the same. The reasons why they get the promises from everything not to hurt him is different.
Okay.
Like it wasn't because of the Ragnarok prophecy. It was just because Baller was so pretty that nothing wanted to hurt him.
I fucking hate that spider. Because it has 8 eyes, but they're in a line instead of over like each other.
It only have 4.
Oh, it's even worse.
Showed 4
Wait, the spider had 4 legs?
eyes.
Eyes.
Oh, eyes. Oh.
That's even worse.
But I don't know. I'll admit that's just a personal thing. But overall, yeah, I wasn't feeling the art. Yeah, the stories are dry. Just because something has survived doesn't mean it resonates with everyone. It's like how millennials hate that one movie where the husband rapes his wife, and it's like one of the greatest movies of all time. And they're like, no, boo.
I'm gonna need a title.
History of Violence?
No, it's the one where frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, millennials hate that movie.
Yeah, but it's not just because of that.
Because it's not color either.
Yeah.
No, it's because of the rape.
Racist as millennials and
Because
color.
of Mammy.
My point being, yeah, these are tried and true tales that are dryly told in this book and poorly drawn.
Jeez.
Joe, how's your day been going, man? Larry didn't ask at the beginning of the show. And answer honestly.
I'm okay. Like, I was tired, so I took a nap earlier.
But did you have your juice after the nap?
I didn't have any juice.
Oh, my mistake. Before I get emails, not Gone with the Wind, Casablanca. However you want to pronounce it.
That wasn't his wife.
I'm talking about Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't the frankly, I don't give a damn. Isn't that Casablanca?
No, Casablanca is.
Of all the gyp joints in the world, you come into this one.
Yeah.
Because Gone with the Wind isn't a Bogart movie. Wasn't that Humphrey?
That was Gone with the Wind was Gary something or other.
I gotta look that up now.
I will say that.
You know what it is? It's not Casablanca. It might be the Maltese Falcon.
It's not the Maltese. I know that one. I watch that every year.
Well, Clark Gable.
That's what it is. Clark Gable.
But I was gonna say, like Casablanca is like a really good movie. Like, I feel like everyone may not watch Casablanca, but I feel like just about everybody that watches it, like
Casablanca was the original Netflix and chill.
That's fair.
You guys are right. It is in Gone with the Wind. Yep. Okay. I feel better. Sorry.
Yeah, Gone with the Wind. I feel like it's not just millennials that aren't feeling Gone with the Wind. I feel like there's generations and generations of people that are like, Gone with the Wind's all right.
Yeah.
Like
Joe's analogy would have been like millennials hating Seinfeld.
Do millennials hate Seinfeld?
Yeah, and Friends.
The Seinfeld isn't funny trope. Because which is basically Seinfeld was so influential that if you didn't watch it while it was happening, you've seen other shows do it because everyone was doing what Seinfeld did because it was so popular. It's kind of like the same thing with Shakespeare. It's like Shakespeare is full of cliches, but
they're not cliches because he started them all.
Yeah, like they're cliches because he did them first and people loved them.
Right.
So it's kind of like that's what happens with Seinfeld.
Well, that's part of what happened, but they don't like the fact that like Elaine is like the one that's the millennial activist for stupid shit, but hypocritical, and everybody just makes fun of her for all the shit she does.
But
and the way
everyone in Seinfeld's a hypocrite, except for me.
Yeah.
Right?
But,
Say what?
Michael Richards is a racist.
Yeah, but
Millennials hate that.
that doesn't make him not funny in the show, does it? But
I'm willing
maybe
to let it
They're
slide.
saying he's not funny. They're saying they don't like him.
oh, yeah, you gotta like him to laugh.
Nah, people forgot that quick too, though. Just like Mel Gibson, they forgot that too.
Yeah, why is he making a comeback? Like, I don't like it. I mean, I enjoyed Batman, but
They,
I
they,
wanted to see Fat Man and I missed it.
it was pretty good.
wait, what?
Fat Man, where he's Santa and Goggins is trying to kill him. I sent you the trailer. Don't give me that look.
Yeah.
Wait, are you frozen?
No, I'm not. I'm dumbstruck. I'm like, wait, what is happening? I don't.
He did send us the trailer.
I believe it, and I don't know if I didn't watch it or.
Yeah, I don't think we watched it. You would have remembered it if we watched it.
Okay, then yeah, I must not have. I must have been like, okay, I'll get back to that, and then maybe I didn't. Did you send it today?
Nah, this was like 6
Yeah.
months ago or something.
Oh, jeez. Well, I'm sorry, Oz.
Like, I like the movie, but it's not very memorable.
Well, it was like straight to streaming. I mean, I know it was during the pandemic, but it would have been straight to streaming without that too.
Yeah,
Like
even
straight to streaming Mel Gibson.
if you didn't like it.
That should tell you about it.
There's a couple. He like after the racism thing, he was doing straight to video stuff that went straight to streaming, like Get the Gringo
Got it. Get the Gringo.
and Beaver.
Oh wow, I don't know what that's about, but
You
they
know
gotta
it.
steer clear.
You know what it's about. We talked about it when we were doing the show at your house.
Yeah,
Oh, jeez. Listen, that was a lifetime ago. Like around the kitchen table.
On a Thursday morning.
Right. So
Okay.
okay. Well, I'll tell you, in regards to Trials of Loki, I really liked this book. Like I read it, all of them. So basically one through 4, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like I love the allusions it makes to the actual myths, and I like the character arc it has for Loki and how he kind of it shows him evolving into the like villain basically, which is like it's not necessarily it it's not set up in a way where they're necessarily trying to make you like I guess feel for him. They're not trying to say like, oh, like, yeah, he's the bad guy, but we want you to be on his side. It's just more so like a look at understanding why he is the way he is. And yeah, it made actually a really interesting contrast to watching the episode of Loki today, because they almost do like the opposite of one another. It because it feels like this makes Loki start off. It starts off with Loki as a much more sympathetic character, and by the time you get to the end of it, it's like, oh, this guy is like, trying bad for bad's sake to a degree, and you just understand what journey he went on because you go along with it, or you go along the journey with him. But it's it's a very unapologetic kind of Loki, and yeah, it was pretty cool to me, especially like but again, I do feel like it is a certain type of person that this might resonate with, because I do feel like if you like mythology and if you do like the Vertigo-esque kind of books, and you do are interested in a dive into the psyche of like a person that might be considered a villain, like you kind of need a little bit of all of those in order to appreciate it. Otherwise, you might end up feeling like Jay did, where you're just like, why? Like, why did this book happen?
So we have a chat comment. Hexzilla in chat said, "Oh, Mary's wearing a backwards cap, trying to bring in that younger audience, eh? Hello, fellow kids. Do you like comics?"
That's what it is. I'm sorry, Heck. I'll mess around and be age appropriate. There you go.
He's actually signaling to people that he's a catcher, not a pitcher.
Wow. I don't know if I appreciate the innuendo.
Look, I'd just be happy if you got the reference.
Like,
On either level.
I got I got the reference of all the levels, and I'm not sure I appreciate any of them.
I read the first three. It's not that I didn't want to keep reading. It's just I just ran out of time.
Oh, okay.
So I read the first three, and I'm just glad that I enjoyed them, especially the first one. The first one I thought was probably the best.
Mm-hmm.
I think mostly because if I didn't have like the title page telling me this is a Loki book, I necessarily wouldn't have thought that was Loki. I would have thought that was just a interesting story up until the point where you realize it's Norse mythology and it is Loki. I like the way it was done.
Yeah,
I like that we finally get an origin story for not only Mjolnir, but also why Lady Sif doesn't have blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
So, all good things to me.
Yeah. Oz loves his origin of things. His origins of things.
And you get the origin of the boat too.
Yeah, and the spear.
And that's what I liked about Loki, the TV show, too, because they give you the origin of DB Cooper.
Look, that was actually pretty cool. Like, it's a weird little thing to kind of put into it, but it makes sense because it's like, yeah, like we don't know what happened to that dude. So.
You know, they did waste time rehashing a conspiracy theory.
Nah.
I like that DB Cooper thing actually like messed with all the YouTubers because everybody thought that was an example of Loki traveling through time doing different things, and it's really it's Loki's version of Boner.
His version of Boner?
In WandaVision, we had they cast the guy that played Quicksilver, and it ended up being a boner joke.
Got it.
The whole DB Cooper thing that people thought was going to be evidence of Loki traveling through time doing mischief was not. I mean, it was mischief, but it wasn't time travel, and it wasn't even Loki's idea.
Right. That's really interesting, though. The whole idea that he lost a bet too. I'm like, wait, so what's the like? I'm not exactly sure what the punishment. Like, what were they betting on? Why is that the
I can't picture Thor telling Loki, "Yeah, I want you to go screw with the humans."
No, but I can see it because it's a drinking thing, and they drink. You know.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Drunk Thor, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, look, if MCU gets anything, is that Thor likes to drink.
Yeah. Mead.
So I need to get some Viking blood. It's been a while. Sorry.
And I did also enjoy about Trials of Loki, like how the 4 issues all connect. You know, like I feel like there's a good through line with all of the stories. And you know, of course, I mean they use like the framing kind of mechanic for it. But I mean, again, it felt really good to me and really natural, and it was interesting to go on that journey because you know it's like, you know, I know I wasn't 100% sure what they were going to be trying to do, but yeah, by the time I get to the end, I'm like, this is really cool. I like this a lot. So
where is Loki in the comics now? Because last I remember, he was Kid Loki, but that was a while ago. So I don't know what's happening with him now.
It's a good question. I'm trying to think.
Because this book, I mean, the first story felt like it could have been contemporary, but I don't think it was. I think Mo said it's an older story.
Yeah, it's not.
But I'm just wondering where in the comics, where is Loki right now? Last I remember, he was Kid Loki, and he was like, the more good deeds he did would undo some of the bad deeds that he's done or something like that. Like he was doing his penance and kind of turning into the anti-hero.
I'm pretty certain that he's not Kid. I'm fairly certain he's not Kid Loki anymore. He's an adult Loki, but I'm trying to think. I can't think of what the last thing I actually saw him in, because I'm not reading Thor right now, and so I'm not sure that I can tell you, because I don't think he's been in any of the Marvel books that I'm reading. So yeah, I'd have to research that. I don't know. You haven't. No one else has seen him in some other books by chance, or
I don't think he's even in the Thor books right now.
Yeah, I don't know where he is.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I mean, I do know, Thor, or I will say that last time I read Thor, it was definitely on a more cosmic kind of bend.
Right, when he became like a herald or something.
Yeah, but I don't think he's a herald anymore. But
No, after that, he doesn't become unworthy, but anybody can pick up the hammer.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That's where he's like freaking out, and he throws the hammer with Tony Stark's phone number, and so that's a thing. People start blowing up Tony Stark's phone, and then random ass people are picking up the hammer like nothing.
Damn, it's rough out here.
But that itself was at least a year ago, so I don't know where it's gone since then.
Yeah. I couldn't. I don't know. Like, I'm not certain.
All right. So, what do we rate this book?
Yeah. What about you, Jay? What? Let's go least to highest, right?
I'll give it like a 3. It wasn't completely uninteresting. It just wasn't really resonating with me. And I wasn't a fan of the art, especially the cover art.
You didn't like the cover?
Nah. Those did not look good to me. But yeah, because it wasn't completely uninteresting, I would give it a 3.
Okay. How about you, Oz? What would you give it?
A 4. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was perfect. There are definitely a lot of slow portions in it, I guess. But it wasn't. I do recommend people pick it up. What's the price of this book? I guess is the real question.
Like $8.99 or something.
Yeah, I think it's $7.99.
But it's like for
it's for
comics. It's for comics.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 comics for $9. I mean, if it's an old story, like Mo said, I think that price point's a little high, and that might affect the rating. Like it would be more 3.5 at full retail price. If you can get it on eBay or something for like half off, definitely pick it up. If you can get it digital for a lower price, then definitely, check it out. It's worth a read.
Digital, I believe it is like $7.99.
A dollar discounted is not enough to bump it back up to 4.
Gotcha.
I would say at least half of, if it's $8.99, $4.99 is probably like that top edge.
But I mean, well, I guess I hear you, because you're saying, it might have a high page count, but if they're pages from 10 years ago,
right? It's not a new story.
Right.
No, but if it was a trade paperback, it'd be $15.
Depends on how long it's been sitting there. I've gotten some great deals on trades.
Right, but we're talking about cover price because that could be said about this too. Yeah.
Right, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Cover price is too much. It's not that great to justify the cover price.
If you have Comixology Unlimited, you get the 15% discount, which brings it down to $6.79.
And if you use the Marvel Magnum code 20, you can add another 20% off.
On top of that, they stack.
Yeah, they look. I got like $75 worth of Silver Surfer books for like $6.
Wow.
Yeah, see all those books, 5 out of 5. Great deal.
Moses Magnum, what would you rate Trials of Loki?
I would do,
Marvel Tales.
look, this one I didn't finish it, but it says 4, man. I would even go with a 5. I love the art and I love the covers. It's a Vertigo book. Like they did a Vertigo book, and Aguirre Sacasa is like a really like good writer. Like when he writes a character, he knows how to do it in a way that's different than what everybody else is doing. He wrote Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man in the late 90s. It was good. He did, the Afterlife with Archie and all those. Like he's the reason you got like Riverdale TV, So he fixed that Spider-Man musical, they got rid of Swiss Miss. So he knows what he's doing, and this is no surprise that I enjoyed this.
That's fair. That's fair. As far as I'm concerned, I think I'd rate it like I think I'd give it a 4.5. It's definitely not perfect, but it does a lot of stuff really well to me. I mean, again, I feel like if we're talking about that Venn diagram of all the different pieces that you need to appreciate this book, I fit in just about all of them. So, full disclosure, it's like, but the fact of the matter is, it's just a story handled really well, and I like that it puts a fresh coat on some old myths, and it's cool. Like, I mean, even just small things like the way that they do like the costume and character design and change it throughout the ages, and by the time you get to the end, you basically have, well, I should say the end, but there's a point where you kind of get Thor in a more classic outfit, and you get Loki in what would be considered a more classic outfit. And yeah, like it kind of transitions throughout time. So it's good stuff. I liked it a lot. I enjoyed the characterizations. I enjoyed the story. I did like the art as well. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. And real quick, let me just go ahead and share this cover so you all can just see what it is that we were talking about, so you can judge for yourselves in regards to if you think it's a cover worthwhile or not. But yeah, that's the cover, and like I said, just a frame of reference. Like, it's basically Loki holding Mjolnir out in front of him. But there's a little bit of style to it, and it's one of these things where I could definitely see like maybe not everyone feeling that. I know for me, I personally like it caught my eye. I thought it was a cool and interesting cover, but it's always good to hear additional opinions. So cool. All right. Chance, you want to talk about some news?
Yeah, man.
Comic book news. We should have a comic book news. Well, not like that, but like
I'll take it. We had a quick question in chat real quick. Yeah. Tiger Claw, what do you guys think of Loki being gender fluid? Is he gender fluid in the show, or is he gender fluid?
His on his record under sex it said gender fluid. Which,
Oh,
I mean, considering that there are books where he's Lady Loki, you know, he's a shapeshifter. He can be whatever the hell he wants.
right.
Makes sense. I know.
And
I know
he's
that.
he also comes from the land of the frost giants. So if you get him hot enough, he'll melt for you, no matter what you are.
I don't know. Like, I know for me, I've never once really thought much about Loki's gender. So, but yeah, I guess if you're a shapeshifter, I guess it does make sense that you're gender fluid too. Where,
Yeah. Plus,
yeah.
it's like if he bangs like somebody from a different planet that isn't like male female type gender structure,
Mhm.
like he's technically fucking a different gender, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
That-
It's outside of my realm. So, all right. What do we want to talk about first, news wise?
There's a leaked photo from what is it, Titan season 3 that shows Raven's new costume.
How's it look?
Does it though?
Look, I'm gonna share it for you right now. Let's see. You be the judge.
We'll be the judge.
I think it shows. What's Starfire's sister's name?
Blackfire.
Yeah, Black. It shows her costume. That should be the leak.
But that's her new costume.
So nothing.
I mean,
Yeah.
she's still goth. She still has a bad wig.
Is it the scarf, or she's not wearing that before?
I think that's like a collar, like a monk robe.
The thing is, even if it's just regular ass clothes, it's not what she was wearing last season, right? So that's technically a new costume.
Last season they cut out a better costume that was a little bit more comic accurate.
Well, I mean, there's a difference between costume and regular ass clothes, right?
Yeah, but that's I mean, what I'm saying is like, this is her new look for the character.
Regular ass clothes. Okay.
Again, I think Blackfire should be the story.
Yeah, but nobody cares about her.
Why is she black?
Because all the Tamaranians are black, I guess, in this show. They're not orange, they're black.
They got orange undertones.
No, they don't.
Like, it's her name, not her color.
It's
Like,
both now, Jay. It's both.
oh my god, all these blacks are like fucking everywhere. Like,
What? What does that even mean?
I started
You know
watching
what it means.
one season of Supergirl, and McGann was black.
Who?
McGann, Martian girl.
Oh, why wouldn't she be black?
Because she's white. Like, she's literally white. Almost every time we see her.
You mean when she's in human form?
Yeah, in human form, she's white. And in a regular form, she's white. But there's no reason for her to be black.
Oh, but isn't she supposed to be the niece of the other dude that's black already?
Yeah.
So,
Not
wouldn't it make sense for her to
biological.
be black?
It's not her biological niece.
Yeah, she's a white Martian.
Niece through marriage?
No, just because she's here on Earth.
Niece-in-law?
I think
Like-
on the show, they get to a point where they're gonna bone.
Who?
Martian Manhunter and McGann.
What?
It's not Martian girl, I'm sorry, it's Miss Martian.
Like, it's like you're your prejudicial rage got the better of you. You're like, the blacks. I don't know, Miss Martian.
Why is she black? She should not be black. Like, it's too much.
It's too much. It's like, how many black people are on TV now? What? He's like, 13%? Nah. Cut that in half.
I don't think he cares as long as it's not the characters he likes.
I mean,
Jake.
like,
I mean, the point is she's supposed to be orange, I think.
What?
Starfire, and they're supposed to be orange.
Right.
Tamarinians are orange. That's the thing. They're all orange.
Well, not all of them. Like, some are white.
The good ones.
How do you say orange in Spanish?
Anaranjado.
Oh, damn. Okay.
What?
I was like, isn't there a Spanish word that
Well,
sounds-
anaranjado like is saying a person or a thing is orange. Just orange is naranja. So this naranja chick is over here running around. Okay, that wasn't as funny as I thought it would be. Freaking naranja's ruining him.
Yeah. He's gonna get reinstated in August.
Oh, dang. So, okay. Oh, hey. I'm sorry, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm more offended that Raven is the story of that image, because that was the first shot of that other costume that I'd seen.
Yeah.
Wait, was she in too?
Not fully in costume, just kind of like the actress was there as a hologram who talked to Starfire, but not like in full. You didn't see the full outfit on her. You just kind of saw like, the communication, like a FaceTiming on the spaceship.
Okay.
Cool.
Gotta watch that.
So did you hear about the Blue Beetle news? Blue Beetle movie news?
No, what happened?
It said that Blue Beetle movie is gonna go exclusively to HBO Max.
Oh, good. We backed the right horse.
But yeah, so I don't know, but I was under the impression that was supposed to be a movie that was going to come to theaters.
I don't know whatever gave you that impression.
Like I mean, I thought Warner
I
Brothers
mean,
gave me that impression.
Theaters aren't coming back.
Huh?
Theaters aren't coming back.
Even before the pandemic, I never thought I was gonna hit the theaters.
Really?
Like, I wish I could be as optimistic as you, Lawrence. I just don't. I didn't see it.
But don't, because then people will laugh at you.
Is that what's happening when I'm turning away?
Yeah.
It's like, or am I just laughing so loud I don't realize they're laughing at me and not with
Yeah,
me?
you
Is
think
that
they're
what's
laughing?
happening?
Yeah, you think they're laughing with you.
Oh, jeez, all this time. It's like I'm just gonna laugh and start slapping folks. But yeah, so I know Jay and I, like, we were talking about this, and what was your insight, Jay, or what was your thought on it?
Like, I don't feel like HBO Max is established enough for that to be like a good thing. Like, if you go directly to Netflix, that's kind of like a big deal. They have the gravitas to say where something's coming directly to Netflix, like, it's not necessarily a detriment on that movie. And I think if it's going directly to HBO Max, like, they're not at the point where that's not a detriment. Like, it's kind of like when a movie goes straight to Amazon Prime, it's like, well, they tried. I mean, and I don't think even HBO Max is even at that level. Like, that movie just failed to get made. Like, if you're going direct to HBO Max.
Did they already make the Blue Beetle movie, or is it something that they're gonna make and then put to HBO Max?
I don't think they've even like casted it. I don't think they've shot anything.
Oh yeah, then it's
Yeah.
definitely that's definitely a knock on it. even if it was to Netflix or anything. You know,
I can't speak for the writing or the acting of the movie or the plot, but I don't think the effects are going to be movie theater quality. I think CW is about the level you're going to get of effects.
yeah.
Really? Even though it's going to be on HBO Max? Like, I feel like...
Yeah.
Well, they're already setting the bar low for themselves
How so?
by putting that expectation. Like, it's a movie that, you know, it's a DC superhero movie, but we're going to do it straight to this, so we don't have to spend that much to make it, you know?
But I kind of feel like HBO has like a brand to protect, right?
Not now, not with HBO Max. I mean,
Oh.
clearly they don't care about the brand like they used to, because half the shit on there is like ridiculous ass, like basic cable shit, you know? So it's not the level of quality of programming that HBO had. It got muddied, and they lost a lot of credibility with me, in particular, once HBO Max took over. I mean, just switching the color scheme to purple was like terrible. Like, the fuck? Like, that automatically seems like something that would buy at Target.
Dang. Wow, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see, you know, but
Facebook,
I am kind of shocked by that.
do that. Agree with Moses.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Facebook user.
Thank you. Was it Mike Zuckerberg? Thank you, Zuck.
Yeah. That's who that is.
Are you guys excited to see Batwing make his debut?
I am.
I don't know if I would say excited.
Batwoman, though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm excited. I can't wait.
Listen, I like that character, and I would like to see that character in live action. I don't know if I could watch Batwoman to do it, though.
I think I think if you saw what they did to Luke Fox on this show, I don't think you'd be so eager. I mean,
really?
Luke Fox in this show is basically just there to like show that women are better than men, I guess. You know, he's the computer guy of the show,
right?
Yeah, he's the guy in the chair. He's supposed to be, you know, the best at what he does, and he gets kidnapped at one point, and literally they get a 16-year-old girl shows up into the Batcave and like just spends like a minute talking about how crappy all the equipment is in the Batcave, and how easy it is for her to, like, she just takes over. I honestly thought they were going to replace him at that point. The way she just took to like, she did everything that he did within like minutes. And he's really just been there on the show to be wrong. And you know, whenever he has an idea, season 1, Ruby Rose would disagree, and ultimately she would be right. And I don't know. I like Batwing, but this Luke Fox, like, he hasn't earned it. He hasn't fought. He's never been in a fight. I can't picture.
How's gonna be Batwing if he can't fight?
But you know what? Ryan Wilder, I've never, like, they mentioned that she knows martial arts and she's Batwoman. So I think
I'm saying, like, they introduce her and they talk, like, because that's the new Batwoman, right?
Yeah, it's like one line where they say, "Hey, you know martial arts, right?" And that's it. You never see her training. Like,
I mean, I guess what I'm saying
it's not like Arrow, where like season 1, Diggle is training with Arrow, and then it's a natural progression for him to be out in the field.
Yeah,
and he's not as good as Arrow. That's why he has a gun, but he's still a superhero in his own right. Like, he's earned it. Even in Supergirl, the sister, who is now a hero, like, she was an agent. She was a top agent, and she's out there kicking ass. She's got the training. You see her training. Luke Fox, like, I don't think he's ever thrown a punch this whole series.
Yeah.
And now he's gonna be Batwing. I
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that. Like if the character's been around for 2 seasons now and wasn't fighting before, like unless like it seems weird that he would be qualified to go out and start fighting people now, unless of course, I mean, technically, I guess the Batwing suit is a suit of armor, right? Like I guess it could have like,
and I guess in all
fighting
fairness,
stuff.
even the Batwoman suit, like I said before, is apparently made of Kryptonian skin because it can survive anything, and if you're in it, you survive anything too.
There you go.
Heck in chat, the training and karate are for. He censored himself from men.
Okay.
But isn't there like an episode where they actually attack Luke Fox and he can't do anything?
Yeah, when he gets kidnapped, they kick his ass.
Yeah.
And he gets kidnapped because he goes out in the field after Ruby Rose told him not to, because he's wrong.
I like when Oz called them bitwing in our pre-production.
But you know what? And Superman was the same thing. Like whenever he showed up, was just to like tell you that Supergirl was better than him, and that was really like all he would do in any episode. But you know what? Superman and Lois came out, and he's amazing in that. The way he's written, way better. So I don't know. Maybe they will change it in the next episode or two, even though they have the same writers that have been horrible since season 1. Like when we heard,
subject yourselves to that show week in and week out.
when we heard they were going to replace Ruby Rose, that was my whole thing. Was I told you guys, if they don't change the writing staff, it's not going to get better, and they didn't.
Yeah,
they got a better actress. She's way better than Ruby Rose, but the writing just it's still crap.
yeah,
These people don't know what they're doing.
yeah.
I like it.
Because they don't rehash a movie.
Right, exactly. But Loki, It's like that's fair.
I mean,
That says it all.
it's a chance to
That says
get
it all.
better.
Say again.
Like Loki has a chance to get better.
Mm.
Everyone can nail the first episode.
Yeah, like Batwoman sure nailed the first episode.
Yeah, what episode made you fall in love with Batwoman? Like where did they start nailing it?
I believe it was like the 3rd or 4th episode of season 2. Like, remember, I didn't start at the beginning. Like, I didn't watch any of season 1 Batwoman. So, like, all that pain you went through, I did not share that. And I just started from season 2. And yeah, I hated her at first because she's annoying
And black.
and black. But, you know, eventually she gets better.
Okay.
The actress is fine. The show's just bad, badly written.
Oz likes it because they give you a origin for Kryptonian skin.
And the costume never quite looks right.
Nah, it looks fine. The
Mm.
costume's fine.
They took the
Not
smart-
that hair.
Thank you, Het.
It bugs me that they made such a big deal that when Javicia Leslie took over, that she would make it her own, and really the only thing that changed was the wig.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if the old one would be a better wig or not, but either way, I'm just like, But who knows? I might try to tune in for a Batwing episode. Like, when is that actually happening?
Next year.
I
Wait,
would
what'd you
say like in the next couple of episodes, because they just got to the point where they made him feel guilty for not getting involved and just being the guy in the chair, and so he tries to get involved and gets shot, and so he gets out of the he's out of the hospital now, and I'm guessing he's gonna to be bulletproof.
Man, man, I don't know what like
Like
so-
that's literally what happened, right, Jay? You're caught up.
I'm behind.
Oh, well, yeah. The first time, like he
Spoilers.
something, like he ends up getting shot.
And do they feel bad after that, or are they just like, "Dang, you need to get good"?
No, because the guy that shot him was white and well, not a cop, but the crows. So that's what the episode becomes.
I don't understand what that means.
The Crows are like a paramilitary police force.
Yeah.
Like privatized.
Okay.
So it becomes hey, this guy was a racist cop story.
Oh, is that what is really? They shot him like for nothing?
It's one of those, he's pulling out a cell phone.
He had
and
Skittles.
the guy yells gun and shoots him.
Oh,
He had Skittles and a cowl.
Jeez.
Not funny, Mo.
Yeah,
look,
clearly. All three of you fuckers laughed.
I'm just like
Insensitive fucks.
because of the level, like the level of writing previously. I'm not sure that this show should be tackling that issue.
No, they do it poorly. Like they never set up that the guy's a racist. Like he just hates criminals. Like that episode, the guy that he wants to kill is white. So it's like he just doesn't like criminals in general. But the Batwoman team all think, well, he shot a black guy, so he's clearly racist.
Oh, because they're racist.
It's like you clearly never set up that this dude's a racist. You know, like give me 2 scenes where he's like, oh yeah, that guy was black. He had it coming, or so, give me something, you know. But just because he shot,
I just thought he would look like a criminal.
yeah, like they try to say, well, the white guy that was actually stealing the car, like he ran and they never chased him. I'm sitting there like, dude, there was one guy and he shot the dude. I'm pretty sure he has to be there like to stem the blood flow while the paramedics show up, at least, right? He's not gonna just leave this guy bleeding out while he runs after this other guy.
Well, hey.
So they're prejudging him based on the color of his skin and his occupation.
I see what they were doing. I see what they were trying to do. It's just poorly done. This writing team is awful.
Yeah.
I've seen that play out. Like I've seen that written way better than this show did it. And I can't wait to hear Joe's review when he gets to these episodes. Because I want to hear how he enjoys these. Why do I watch this show?
Because it's the only DC you get.
Yeah, Diggo's supposed to show up, and they're ruining that thing too. Oh my god, I have no hope for the Green Lantern. Have you heard what they're doing with Diggo? Okay, well, and I keep calling him Diggo. Technically, he's Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I do remember that.
At the end of the Arrow TV show, Ring just lands in front of him, and he opens a box that he opens. It's already weird that it's in a box. It's a fucking Green Lantern ring. It's in a box that he opens, and like green light shines on his face. He's gonna be in every Arrow. Like his arc is gonna go through those. Apparently, from what I've been reading about what he's gonna do is he rejected the ring, which makes sense. Like he's just dealt with some the crisis craziness. He just wants to be with his family. I get that. Fine, reject the ring, but they make it seem like it's affecting him. Like he's got like headaches, or like the people writing this story do not understand what the hell a Green Lantern ring is. And I know Mo was mad about how Alan Scott is gonna say the traditional oath for the Green Lanterns. And even though, yeah, I did point out that Alan Scott has used it, I can see where Mo is coming from, because I don't believe that the people writing this Alan Scott realize that there's a difference, and that Alan Scott isn't really technically a Green Lantern. He's just called Green Lantern. I'm not gonna see nothing about no Starheart. It's
In any case, we should probably move on to final thoughts.
I want to hear your new story that you posted, Joe, in our pre-production, because I couldn't read it because my ad blocker wouldn't let that site about the Pride thing challenge.
Oh, right. Okay, so I didn't.
Injustice.
Right. So the mobile Injustice game had an event for Pride Month, and they had like 3 different challenges to do throughout the month. And the first of those challenges was beating Poison Ivy. And people were quick to point out that beating up a bisexual character in celebration of Bi Month was kind of tone deaf.
Yeah.
And they quickly apologized, but
You still had to do it.
people were just in shock that like it's an amount of tone deafness that you don't normally reach. Like
Yeah.
it's really ridiculous. And the other 2 challenges were like less offensive, but people were just like how the fuck? And we did end up apologizing pretty quickly.
Did they remove the challenge though?
They did change the challenge.
Okay.
You got to give Poison Ivy hugs.
It should be that you win battles using her, right?
I guess.
Ideally.
Like,
Or give her a fair wage or health care or don't make laws against discrimination. Yeah, she could be in the military. She could go to nursing school with an average scholarship. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, that was just a fiasco.
That is crazy.
They quickly apologized, and yeah, just really bad.
Hector chat says the second challenge is create a rainbow with all the lantern rings.
There it is.
I mean, if you do that, you end up with a white one.
Well, look, White Pride Month, right?
Like that's what Rainer
Whoa.
did.
Whoa.
And that's something Injustice will do. Like it's in the name, Injustice.
All right. Any more news stories?
One last news story. They revealed the new Shazam costume, and they shrank the lightning bolt to like not even a Mary Marvel shirt. It has it that small, and I think it's to not use padding on him. And but people love it online. They love it. They say it looks more like,
I did notice that.
and I'm like, you fucking idiots. And
Well,
then
They took some of the padding off the collar, so it's not as obvious, and it's not as funny as the other one.
right.
Wait, why does the lightning bolt being smaller make the less padding?
Well, it makes the shoulders look bigger, like the same way a V-neck does. But if you wear an open ass shirt to your navel, it does the opposite effect. If you have small shoulders,
It's like when you date a girl with small hands,
right? Or a guy, it is Pride Month,
right? Or guy, sure.
I know that like you said, Mo. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I don't like it.
It
It
looks.
lightning bolt.
It does look better with the cape. I'll give people that. Like people, when you put the cape on it,
I didn't see that.
I can see if I can find it real quick. But
While you're looking for that, I made a little thing for our Instagram that I would share here in case you don't follow us. Because when I actually saw this picture, and I know Alex Ross did this, like he posted this picture in reaction to this without saying anything. Yeah. And so then I just made a little what I got from Wish meme. And yeah, that lightning bolt. I mean, I've seen Mary Marvel shirts with a bigger lightning bolt. Yeah. Yeah, it's I can't pack on muscle. Like he's a lanky guy. He would have to pack on like 150 pounds of muscle to look super heroic. If the way that Captain Marvel looks, or Shazam, if you want to call him that.
I
But
want to see what he looks like standing next to the Rock in his costume.
look,
oh Lord,
I want to see what he stands next. What he looks like standing next to Larry now. Larry's all fit.
Like when he fights Black Adam, I guarantee his outfit's actually gonna like take damage, and you're gonna see like his actual muscle coming through. But Shazam's costume is gonna be perfect the whole time. Like it's never no tears.
yeah. I mean, he looks bigger.
Yeah, he looks bigger because they also put that belt like Steve Urkel up to his like abdomen, so it makes his shoulders look bigger. Because his limbs are long. It's hard to pack muscle in those. I get it. But fuck, you had a quarantine to pack on muscles. I did it with sandbags and like cement. Like you can't do it with your fucking rich guy gym at your home.
Yeah. Hey, can't be mad at that.
And I did it eating beans and rice.
Yeah. No excuses.
And that's the thing. I'm not playing a superhero. Nobody's looking at me to be a superhero or a role model for that matter. But yeah, he's playing a superhero. Fucking take your creatine, eat your 2 chickens a day, and lift fucking weight. And read the fucking comics.
Yeah, it's not forever. It's just
I mean, you look at the dude from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Rob McElhenney. Like he got fat. He gained 70 pounds for one season, and then for the next season, he dropped it all and got really buff. And he if he didn't look so babyface, he could be a superhero. And he's got a good show called Mythic Quest you should watch.
That's Apple Plus, right?
Yeah.
I want to see that, but I don't have that. Bad. Anyway. All right. Jay, why don't you give us some final thoughts, buddy?
New episodes of the Outhouse premiere this weekend.
Okay. Final thoughts.
Superman and Lois still good, surprisingly.
That's fair. The end. Moses Magnum. Final thoughts.
We're giving away a copy of Fantastic Four Life Story number 4, but you got to be a subscriber. You got to subscribe, like the bell, because that video review is coming up soon in our one-shot series. So be on the lookout for that.
Sounds good. For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you. We will be back next week. Until then, go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, follow, friggin' join all of our stuff. Hit us in the comments too. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to see more of. We would really appreciate it. We're the Fantastic Forum, and until next time, we will I don't know, be reading comics? That makes sense to me. I don't know what y'all doing. I'm reading comics. Oh, okay, still me. Never mind. All right, we're out.